listeners, our guest on Just Talking is director and writer Zach Koepp to discuss his gripping social media thriller, The Willowbrook, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. So, Zach, how's it going, fam?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
Hey, that's what's up. That's how you should be feeling. You should be feeling alive, my man. Move that soul train. You got an amazing film that we all love. And because we are a video on air production, we might as well go ahead and play that teaser trailer right now for The Willowbrook.
You see this? I can't believe we came all the way out here.
It used to be an inn.
Welcome to the Willowbrook.
Look, this is our family. That's me, that's Sid, there's Lacey. Everyone else is dead.
I just feel like a burden.
You are not a burden. Everybody has their issues. Have you met my family? Ace, you wouldn't mind helping Dakota on the farm tomorrow, would you?
Nobody likes the farm. You know, if they would, they'd come back.
Good morning, my loves.
You just gonna act like that didn't just happen?
It was interesting.
Did you try to kill yourself? Because a lot of the people who came here, they tried to kill themselves.
No.
I promise, all of this suffering is going to be beneficial to you. You have to want it.
I know what you are.
Get off my property.
Ooh, it is definitely
Such a good
spooky.
trailer. Woo!
Right?
Love
I mean, and the fact that, Zach, I got to say, congrats on the success of your directorial debut. And for anybody that was just watching this 1 minute teaser right here, what is this film all about?
Yeah, well, thank you guys. I guess first for saying that and having me on. The show is about a social media influencers in the health and wellness space, and she invites one of her recently overdosed followers to come seek recovery at her small town manor. And then when the follower gets there, she quickly realizes the dark world existing within this manor is not what she nor millions of others perceive from the internet.
Yeah, I mean, we all need our like social media fix. And, you know, why did you want to explore elements of social media with your very first feature film?
Yeah, so someone dear to me was a life coach. And although that person was a good human, I couldn't help but, while taking an interest in what that person did, I guess being more introduced to the field, you know, and the no barrier to entry. And then the culmination of, I guess, that with social media turning into what it is, and coming out of COVID and the constant problems we all have with, you know, if we get too sucked into that social media world, it's like the elixir for giving up your individual power. So that was something that I was really wanting to explore that. But this movie, with the pieces that we had, you know, we did our best. So it was a special one to me.
No, I think it's very well done. And I mean, what an incredible milestone in your young cinematic career to, you know, work alongside producer Jeffrey Reddick, the creator of the Final Destination franchise. Yes. I don't know about you, Marissa. I was eating that shit up all my lifehood, my childhood.
Yeah, that
so
was like
totally.
all those movies. Those like still mind screwed me up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So since we are talking about Final Destination and how you linked up with Jeffrey Reddick, I mean, how did the two of you link up? I'm sure everybody's wondering.
Sure. So I guess to back up a little bit, Final Destination for me was, I wore out the VHS just like you guys did. And
that's right.
It was something really special between my little brother and I, who's 4 years younger. And he went to Massachusetts for the summer when we were just kids, to go stay with my aunt. And he was going to fly alone, like with the stewardess or whatever the assisted program that they have to do that. But the night before
Did you
his
watch it with
flight
the
by
train?
himself. Oh yeah, yeah. So
You
that
know?
movie.
That's
so,
an awesome older brother thing to do. That
Oh,
is
awesome.
awesome.
He was not doing well. I remember my mom came home from that airport and was like, it was so heavy. I had realized, another joke of mine had gone too far, much too far.
Funny though. Quite
No, I
funny.
think that's awesome, man. And like, what kind of advice did Jeffrey Reddick give to you? Because how did that link up go down? I mean, was it through like a school event? Was it just happen to be working on another project with them? How did that go down?
Sure. I explained the childhood meaning Jeffrey and Final Destination was, and then fast forward, I don't know how many years later, when I was kind of first getting, in town, I suppose I was working with a producer who's she's like my Hollywood older sister named Cindy Cowan, and she had a meeting with Jeffrey, and he had come in, and I didn't know who he was until like I think halfway into the meeting, because I was kind of at the front and he came in, and I don't know why, but yeah, I just didn't know that it was him. We had like a lovely talk, and I'm like, God, whoever this dude is, like whatever job this guy has in this business, I want to work with this human. And then quickly, in the middle of the meeting, finding out that it was Jeffrey, I was like, this is incredible. And then
I'm starting to think, Zach, maybe it worked out better that you didn't know who he was, because you don't want to be flaunting all over him at the beginning of the meeting. And maybe he realized that you're just kind of being laid back and being real and being yourself, that, naturally, I'm assuming you guys just clicked.
Yeah, it was just for what you said, it was a totally, cohesive, energetic thing. There was because of that, it was just a very genuine, good conversation. And there'd been, when you're in production, a lot of personalities come through the door, and the second I talked to him, I was like, this human being is wonderful. And then he became my, like my brother. I love him to pieces. So he had so let's see. So I met Jeffrey there, and then we had worked together on a movie that it's in pre-production still right now. It's called Superstition. But
nice.
Yeah, then
you have another movie coming out then with
he does.
Yeah, okay.
I guess I'm producing on it, but
okay.
But yeah,
I mean, well, you still like. I think that's the beauty about filmmaking. You definitely got to get around and network. If you want to make that next big feature film, I think that's how you got to make it happen. And Zach Koepp, that's how you're spelling it out, and I love it. But let's go back to your film Willowbrook, because I want to know. Are you one of those skeptics worried about the long-term effects of social media? Are you one of those baby boomers? Or I'm kind of feeling like you just have to embrace it. This is our world, my man.
Yeah, like I couldn't lean out of it, even when I say this, like at the time I didn't have social media, but I'd been addicted to it for years before I deleted it. And then as soon as the movie wrapped, I reinstalled or re-downloaded Instagram, and
so you were doing it before all the celebrities are doing it now, with Twitter and suggesting going over to Mastodon.
I have been in this hole where I've been writing for like the last week, but I've been catching this thing, and I've been telling myself like I'm gonna, whenever I get a little time here, I'm gonna like read through this whole Twitter thing, because I'm so confused, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, are you concerned about this course of information being distributed online? I mean, that's been the biggest conversation when it comes to Elon Musk, for example, acquiring Twitter.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, personally, I'm such a Luddite. I guess for those who don't know that word, it's just like technologically not advanced human. And
that was a very big word, Zach.
That went over.
You're talking to a millennial audience. I have to pull that back. I just had to pull that back.
That went over Chris's head.
Yeah. I'm glad you broke it down for all of us.
Absolutely, and Chris absolutely is affirmative.
Another big word for him. Another big word for him.
No, it is. But like in your film, Zach, you suggest in the Willowbrook, social media kind of acts as a drug. Everybody's got to get that fix, and obviously they go to the influencer, they read up all these great, beautiful things. But is any of that going to change? Because I got to tell you right now, Zach, I'm definitely fixed on social media. I got that itch. I definitely want to be
Yeah.
in on the now. So like, will that ever change, or that's just our reality?
I think that's our reality. What I was in my perfect mind, I guess, when I put this production together, it was pretty quickly. But I always was like, if we can even get this thing done, my only hope from that movie is that people know, like, social media is not going to get fixed on anyone else's accord but your own, and how you choose to be social on that.
Very true. We talk about that all the time.
Oh yeah, it's very
Can
important.
I share something with you, Zach? I
Anything,
definitely
man.
found this that I thought was very, very wild. And last month, The Intercept reported that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security is quietly broadening its efforts to curb speech it considers dangerous. And at the beginning of the year, the DHS announced a new disinformation governance board, a panel designed to police misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation that allegedly threatens U.S. interests. So this kind of goes back to the Harry Potter world. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about our world, planet Earth. Do we need like a Ministry of Truth in this country, or does it have to be exactly what you just suggested, has to come from the individual soul?
I mean, I think that the individual soul is the ultimate answer. But I mean, I certainly, if there's a ministry there, that, I mean, I could certainly see that, especially with what little I know about the Twitter information is.
But don't you think that's kind of scary? Because, we also got Elon Musk, who's kind of being accused of, taking down people who are not labeling themselves as a parody account. We saw it with Kathy Griffin. I guess Sarah Silverman is
Really?
permanently banned or temporarily banned. I'm not necessarily sure.
He owns it. You know what? Hey, he owns that side. He spent $40 billion.
But that's true,
$40
Marissa. But
if he wants to ban people, let him ban him. If he wants to kick him off, let him kick him off. He owns
that
it.
world.
But he owns
People not
it.
tell the difference between sarcasm.
If you owned it, it's not a public entity. There's no stocks on it. Elon Musk can literally do whatever he wants with Twitter. And if
Do you like that response, Zach?
If you got a problem with it, get off Twitter.
Do you like that response?
I do, in the sense that it's irrefutable. But also, like, I
thought you were in the world of comedy. You were telling me, behind the
Zach,
scenes.
just
And
say that
you're on the
Marissa's
side
right.
of Marissa
Zach,
about like a
just
little
say
sarcasm.
Marissa's
He has the
right.
right to take it down. Y'all are lame. I'm sorry. That's a
Don't be
terrible
hating.
feel.
Don't
Very
be
good,
hating on
Chris.
Elon Musk. Don't be hating. Don't be hating.
Oh, right, fine. But Zach,
Salty
in
about that
the
Luddite
Willowbrook,
accusation.
Salty.
but Zach, in the Willowbrook, there's a line that stuck out to me right in the beginning of the film when Lacey Willowbrook says directly into the camera, "You are exactly where you need to be, right here, right now, even when it doesn't feel like it." So talk to me about trusting the flow of life, because I just feel like Elon Musk doesn't trust the flow of life right now. Or at least, are we just making accusations of him?
No, I mean, the flow of life is something that I'm so far from being able to, articulate, even, making, a little movie like this. Surrender and these things are something, as a human being, like, I'm working on all the time, because I'm like such a energetic, like, suffocator. All I know is how to, like, kind of bulldoze. And I have learned sort of recently the beginning steps of surrender. So the flow of life and everything there. What I liked about that part was how we talked about weaving in sort of the vulnerabilities between social media and the health and wellness space. So that character can kind of capitalize and prey on vulnerability, because the people who are seeking her out has almost been organized, like, via algorithms to basically feed her prey, in this health and wellness space. So what I liked about that is it was very true in some dimensions, and it was also, as much as true as it was an utter manipulation from the message she was trying to preach. So I'm happy you said that, because that, like, very line is essentially the theme of our movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I know who's also been prying on our vulnerability is people that I think of, like Mark Zuckerberg, who's got these very ambitious ideas, basically trying to re-gear social media to become this workplace for the meta. And according to Mark Zuckerberg, the metaverse is described by the meta creator as, quote, an embodied internet where instead of just viewing content, you are in it. So why does it feel like these tech giants are so out of reality? Or are you seeing something that I'm not seeing, Zach?
No, I'm sure you're more intelligent than I am in this field. Like it's,
no,
it's
we're in the same world. I mean, you have a little bit of more life years than I do, but don't downplay yourself.
All right,
would
whatever.
you go
It's a
on,
tie.
Zach? Would you go on the Meta? Like, if you were like, "Hey, look, here's an account. You have, you can set up your own little house and go shopping and do all that stuff." Is that something you would
No.
delve into? No, because you said you're not like into like tech really. Like
It just doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
There are times where I get FOMO from like maybe an investment standpoint, and the fact that I did study blockchain quite a bit when I was studying movie distribution, and ultimately I do feel like blockchain is going to be the future for like the archaic Hollywood accounting that is movie distribution. So I'm very intrigued by that. I'm most confident it's smarter than me. I just where I'm at and who I am as a human being, like when I start building like meta houses and stuff, I'm probably not doing well.
spend $100,000 on a Meta house. People do that. It trips me out. I'm like, hey, could you buy me a house? I would like
Totally.
a house.
It's
a
the
real
weirdest
house.
thing.
I guess that is a very real point. I mean, obviously, with the, the ever rising, world of VR and AR, a lot of people feel like, democracy is being threatened because this might be some form of surveillance and control. But Zach, you're bringing up something that is resonating with me right now, because, long are the days of, let's say, floppy disk or flip phones, because our information, including communication, has rapidly changed over the years. And I would say our environment now functions like with touch screens, the digital wallet, Bitcoin transactions, GPS tracking. So shouldn't we be more concerned? I mean, I feel like it. I mean, I think that's the theme that you're trying to project even in your own feature film.
Totally. No, we should be concerned. And, the thing that's most important, like we're kind of talking about, like what I feel like the end result is on individuals' quest to like handle social media. I feel that like we just, I guess we're going to run another parallel with like the movie. It's like when you stop thinking for yourself, the abuse of power you allow when you kind of just surrender and you're seeing something, whether it be technology or an influencer via technology, and you're like, I want what this person has, I'm broken, you just tell me what to do, I'll do it. Like your way gets you there. Like it's so visceral and like feral at the same time. We're talking about survival. So I'm one of those guys who like I totally believe in the power of technology. I believe that if we're already bugged for the rest of our lives, like I've already tapped out back in like when I defeated Snake on Nokia, like I'm good. Like I'm just whatever, No,
I think that's a good point. I mean, gosh, we might not be like microchipped like dogs, but we are basically walking around like a GPS tracker with all of our iPhones and Androids and etc. But I can't thank you enough, Zach Koepp, for joining Just Talking. You got an incredible directorial debut of a feature film called The Willowbrook. And so for anybody who wants to check out this film today, where do they go? Let them know it's good.
Okay, so they can go on Amazon Prime TVOD, the Apple TV, iTunes. It's on like Google Play. It's pretty much everywhere transactional video on demand, isn't it? So where you can anywhere you can buy movies.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yes.
And then we'll use that data back to the technology theme, and then we'll kind of use that to leverage in when we choose our streamer, whether that be Hulu or wherever, in a few months.
Nice.
See, I like that. Just a little bit of a behind the scenes anecdote. That is super cool, my man. And Zach,
thank you guys.
You got an incredible film, and I can't thank you enough for joining the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show.